Hello there, everybody, and today I'm going to be reviewing a very different anime movie that I recently saw, Perfect Blue. So disclaimer, this movie discusses very sensitive topics, so if you're sensitive to what I'm about to talk about, you can click off this video. But if you don't care, just watch it anyway. Whatever, enjoy. But yeah, this movie is a very thrilling anime. I honestly was looking up rated R animes that are out there, like the darkest anime movie you could find, but I found out about this movie, Perfect Blue, and watching a Chris Stuckman review of it before I watched it. And this movie was easily the best. Like, it was a masterpiece from what people say. It is a thriller movie about a girl who is getting tired of being a singer and decides to become an actress. But instead, it leads to her going down a dark path as she is getting stalked by a fan and also having to deal with the pressures of acting and fame, with also murders going on around her, and she's dealing with a lot of psychic moments that lead her in this dark state. So this movie was definitely intense because we get a lot of scenes where people get brutally murdered, and there's some bloody scenes. It's just, I wasn't expecting it to be graphic, but since this movie is rated R, you probably are going to get a lot of that in this movie. But what really was interesting was how often our protagonist is facing an hallucination to reality. She basically has these dreams where she is getting chased by her actress or singer self, and she's dealing with that pressure and having to chase her all around wherever she lives. And every time these hallucinations happen, she just wakes up on her bed. It's very interesting to watch. But as things go on, we do see her stalker, who looks creepy, by the way, who is just following her around every set she goes on, or possibly trying to call her. She does get cryptic calls where it's just someone breathing. It's actually intense to watch. But one thing that does happen in this movie is she decides to film and I'm not going to say this word on YouTube, but it's an essay scene. And the way they do it is just very graphic, and it's definitely uncomfortable for sure, and you feel sorry for her that she's dealing with this. But when she does get attacked by her stalker later in the movie, the movie becomes completely different. But she's easily able to defeat her stalker. But the main villain of this movie is this one producer. I forget her name, but she's basically been supportive for our protagonist, Naima, that's her name. But once she starts getting more hallucinations of her past self, she figured out it was her all along. And she was the one that was behind all these murders. She was basically trying to find her way to kill Naima, and it leads to a pretty interesting, thrilling final battle scene where, not really battle, but she has to survive against her antagonist, and she basically has to finish her off. But the villain accidentally stabs herself during the fight, and they almost get run over by a truck until the paramedics come. And then at the end, she's able to somewhat move on, our protagonist Naima, and she basically just has a fake out vision where she was like, oh, just kidding. But yeah, Perfect Blue was definitely an interesting movie. It's definitely not a comfortable movie to watch, but the story behind it was really intriguing and interesting. And the visuals for the 1999 anime back in the day looked really good. Just everything, just looking at this animation just looks really nice. That's what I really like about watching anime. It's just the visuals, the characters, they just look so good to look at. And I also forgot to mention Steve Bloom's in this movie, so that's a plus. He just has a small role in this movie, but every time I hear him, I can just tell it's him. The younger Steve Bloom. He sounded like Spike from Cowboy Bebop, which is also a good anime. People should go check out. But Perfect Blue, I'd probably give like a 9 out of 10 since it was a little much for me at times, since it is an uncomfortable movie to watch. But if you pay attention really well, it's definitely worth a watch for sure. But the next anime reviews, I'm not sure what it will be. I'm sure I can find something. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time.